Section 1.3 is titled Properties. Some vocabulary terms are properties, which are statements that are true for any numbers; counterexample, which is an example that shows a conjecture is not true; simplify, which means to perform all possible operations; deductive reasoning, which is using facts, properties, or values to reach valid conclusions. The first property is the commutative property. This is the order in which numbers are added or multiplied. It does not change the sum or product. So for any two numbers a and b, you can add a plus b or b plus a and get the same answer. For multiplication, any numbers a and b, a times b would be the same as b times a. And you can see two examples at the bottom. 6 plus 9 is 15, and 9 plus 6 is also 15. On the right-hand side, we have 4 times 7 is 28. 7 times 4 is also 28. The associative property states that the order in which numbers are grouped when added or multiplied does not change the sum or product. So for any numbers a, b, and c, you can add a and b first. Notice they're in parentheses, so the order of operations would have us add a and b first, and then add c. Or, on the right-hand side, you could add b and c first, and then add a. Similar for multiplication, a times b first, it's in parentheses, then times c, or b times c first, and then multiply by a. And you can see two examples at the bottom. On the left, we have 3 plus 6 first in parentheses, which is 9. Then we're going to add 1 to get 10. But on the right-hand side, if you add 6 and 1 first to get 7, then add the 3, you get 10. On the right-hand side, 5 times 9 is 45. When you multiply that by 2, you get 90. But on the right-hand side of that equation, if you multiply 9 times 2 first to get 18, then multiply by 5, you also get 90. Some number properties here. We have the additive identity, which states that when you add 0 to any number, the sum is still that number. So if you look at the example over on the right, we've added 0 to 5 to get 5. You can also add 5 to 0 and still get 5. The multiplicative identity states that when you multiply any number by 1, the product is that number. So you can see in the example, we've picked 8. 8 times 1 is 8, and 1 times 8 is 8. The multiplicative property of 0 states that when you multiply any number times 0, the product is 0. So in the example, I've chosen 3. 3 times 0 is 0. 0 times 3 is also 0. So here are some examples. State whether the conjecture is true, and if not, you need to give a counterexample. Remember, the associative property states that the order in which multiplication occurs, or an order in which things are grouped, doesn't matter. So if we pick an example here, let's say 8 divided by 2 divided by 2. So we're going to group the first, and in the second side, on the right side, we're going to group the back. Remember, the associative property states that if we divide this part in parentheses first, we get 4. 4 divided by 2, then, this 2, is 2. Well, let's check what happens on the right-hand side. We need to do 2 divided by 2 first. So we bring down the 8 in the division symbol. We have 8 divided by 1. Well, 8 divided by 1 is 8. So we have a counterexample. Our counterexample is 8 divided by 2 divided by 2. Remember, a counterexample is something that disproves a conjecture. The next one states that the division of a whole number is commutative. So let's come up with an example and see if it's true or not. So the conjecture is that the division of whole numbers is commutative. So that means it doesn't matter which order you divide. So we could do 8 divided by 4 or 4 divided by 8. Well, on the left-hand side, 8 divided by 4 is 2. But on the right-hand side, 4 divided by 8 is 1/2. That means this is not true, and we have come up with a counterexample of 8 divided by 4. So let's name the properties shown by each statement. Example 3, we have 3 times 10 times 2 equal to 2 times 10 times 3. Remember, with multiplication, it states that order doesn't matter, which means if we go from left to right, on the right-hand side, we would do 3 times 10, then multiply it by 2 to give us 60. On the right-hand side, we would do 2 times 10 to get 20, then multiply by 3 to give us 60. So which property is that? If you need to check back in your notes, this is the commutative property. Number 4, we have addition, 2 plus 5 plus m. On the left-hand side, the 2 and the 5 are grouped first, and on the right-hand side, the 5 and the m are grouped next. Now, because there's a variable here, we aren't actually going to be able to simplify, but you should recognize this as the associative property. We're multiplying the 2 times the 5 first on the left. We're multiplying adding the 2 plus 5 first on the left. On the right, we're adding the 5 plus m. So this is the associative property. On number 5, we have 1 times 3c equal to 3c. We have multiplication of the number 1. Anytime you multiply a number, our number here is 3c, times 1, you just get that number, 3c. This is the multiplicative identity. Okay, so let's look at some examples where we need to simplify each expression. Number 6 is 3 plus e plus 7. We have addition, and we have a set of parentheses. But since we don't know what e is, we need to change where our parentheses are. So first, I'm actually going to...
Mr. Deming, could you please come to the main office, Mr. Deming?
My eraser's not working. So first what I'm going to do is drop the parentheses and write 3 plus e plus 7. Then I'm going to change the order to 3 plus 7 plus e. Remember, in addition, order doesn't matter, so you can move things around. Now you see that I can add the 3 plus 7 to get 10 plus e. We have simplified the expression. When you simplify the expression, you need to make sure that all of the constant terms or all of the numbers are combined. Similar in number 7, we're going to drop the parentheses and we're going to rearrange. I'm switching the order of the x and the 5. Remember that the commutative property allows me to do that. Then what we want to do is 8 times 5. That's 40, so we end up with 40x, or 40 times x. Go ahead and pause the video here, try number 8 on your own. We're going to drop the parentheses and change the order. Then when we combine the like terms, or when we add the two constant terms together, we end up with 28 plus p. That ends the video for section 1-3. In class, we will work on worksheet 1-3.